Alright, Chapter 12, Welding. Chapter 12, Welding. Practical Guide for Pipeline Construction Inspectors, SEPA Foundation, INGA Foundation, Incorporated, published March 2016. Alright, Welding Overview. Hold on, let me just get situated here. Alright, overview. Welding during pipeline construction is performed to joint lengths of pipe together as the construction crew moves along with the pipeline. Right away, the welding is a process used with the fusion to join two or more materials together to become a manufactured or fabricated item. In the pipeline industry, the arc welding process is used to join pipe to pipe, and pipe connections to form pipeline. While welding requires specialized expertise not just for the execution of the work but also inspection of the work. There are a number of items that inspectors should be aware of as part of the undertaking the role effectively. Working alongside welding inspectors. Welding inspections should only be performed on the welding inspector who has been qualified and has been specifically assigned the task. As such information presented within this section deviates somewhat from the majority of the chapters in this document, focusing on providing the inspector with sufficient knowledge to understand the limitations of their role in the context of welding inspection. Inputs 12.2. While the inspector is not expected to undertake significant welding inspection activities, some indication of the typical inputs are provided as orientation, background information. The information is detailed in Table 84. 12.3. Execution. While the work is being executed, the inspector is required to monitor the workmanship of the report of the progress on a periodic basis. Since the welding inspection is a specialized role, the listing provided in this section is focused on the items that would be typically more specialized welding expertise. Indication of the items promptly, and the inspector escalates identified issues. Typical items the inspector will monitor during the welding process are identified in Series Checklist Table 83. Alright, Table 83, Monitoring Requirements of Welding. Prior to commencing on a daily basis, ensure that the key issues have been identified and detailed and addressed. Safety. Monitor the operation adherence to relevant owner company project specific safety requirements. Environmental consideration. Identify specific items that should be monitored with a welding operation that relate to the owner and company or the project-specific environmental protection plan. General welding operation. Typical monitoring requirements of a non-specialized inspector. Note that the importance of identifying the situation that requires specialized welder inspection. 12.4. While the general inspector may be inspected to assist the welding inspector, they are not performing welding inspection activities on their own. Some indication of the typical outputs are provided with the background information detailed in Table 89. 12.5. Typical input requirements of welding inspection. Table 84. Information requirements of the welding description. All drawing detailed specification for the owner and the company with the contractors related with the welding, such as all applicable welding procedure specification or WPSs. All applicable owner company's welding standards, aligning sheets, contract agreements related to the welding, all welder qualification records of specific applicable process, work procedure specifications, non-destructive examination, construction survey, permits related environmental road use, owner and company safety plan, include but not limited to the requirement of personal protective equipment, emergency medical services, project-specific environmental protection plan, detailed welding requirements, other project-specific plans, which may include welding plan. Alright, Table 85, prior to commencing work. Participate in daily meetings to address and ensure all welders' welding qualifications on hand, process are welded with a welding performance spec. Job safety and hazard identification issue, environmental concern, duty of an inspector, pipeline contractor, tailgate meetings as required, ad hoc meeting with the contractors to discuss, clarify questions and concerns, conduct the record tailgate meetings with the welder to ensure that they are clearly understanding owner, company quality, safety, welding standard, welding procedures, specifications, communication, and monitoring all points prior to starting the welding operation. Ensure every new welder to the site is briefed on the above points during on board. Table 86, Safety Concerns of Welding. There are hazards unique with the welding phase that all inspectors should be aware of. They include, but not limited to, restricted hot surface preheating, post-welding, sharp edges beveling, pinch point between pipe ends, line-up, clamps, welding, flash, pressurized container, flammable gas, requiring special transportation, storage, working in proximity to the moving equipment. Additional safety requirements required to input specialized welding inspector. Table 87, the typical monitoring requirements of environmental consideration and no incremental specific environmental consideration beyond what identified in Chapter 6.0. Pipeline construction inspector foundational information. Additional environmental requirements require the input of the specialized welding inspector. Or Table 88, typical monitoring requirements of welding operations. Sure all materials are inspected compliant with the owner and company specification. Check joint preparation fit up with compliance with welding performance specification requirements and specified drawings. Ensure all require detailed inspection and non-destructive examination are performed per owner and company specification. General housekeepings are related to cleanup of the welding related debris, bevel shavings, welding rod ends. Ensure specialized welding experts is engaged in any items associated with the following: conform and appropriate welding equipment, conform the appropriate handling, storage, welding materials, conforming qualification, tacker, welders, welding operator, identification, substandard quality of the work, examination, finish for the compliance code, standard specification of drawing, conformance to any issue related to the weld repair. Table 89, typical requirement documents, typical reporting requirements. General safety hazard observation report, job safety analysis, hazard identification report, non-destructive examination radiographic reports, visual inspection report, non-destructive examination results, supporting records, non-destructive examination personal qualification reports, welding parameter form, main line welding report, listed qualified welder reports, welding coupon test reports, tie-in pour boy welding reports, fabrication welding reports, welding map, damaged pipe report, non-pipe material equipment damage report, complete welding process reports, included work completed to the date, including number of the front end, back end completed, and number of the welds rejected on a daily basis, starting the locations, welding crew, owner, company specification, welding inspection form, any and all special daily reports required by the owner of the company. Alright, reference. Next to the user reference information provided on the table 90, intend to use the guide only list of the non-exhaustive documents in nature undated frequently and remains responsible for the user to ensure that the correct and most current documents are referenced as appropriate. Alright, your National Standard Institute has a safety welding cutting allied process, American Petroleum Institute Standard 1104, welding pipelines related facility, American Welding Society QC standard AWS welding certification welding inspectors, Canadian Standard Association safety welding cutting process allied process certified welding inspector, Inga Foundation training guidance welding coding workers inspectors, basic practice of the API 1104 Appendix A. Alright, Chapter 13, Coding.